Welcome to Moving Panels, Ignite the Mic. From Gotham's alleys to galaxy's far, we dive in deep, we set the bar. Debates and takes, we bring the heat. Pull up a chair, join a seat. Moving Panels, where fandom takes flight. We review, discuss, and shed the light. Heroes, villains, every epic night. This is your show, your fandom's might.
Welcome to this Moving Panels one-shot. Let's have a nerdy little conversation. You know, comic books have gotten so big. There's been so many of them. We forget sometimes that, well, I don't know if we forget on this show, but I think the general public forget that sometimes they don't always stick the landing. And sometimes the movies get a bad reputation when the real issue is not so much the story or the direction, but the performances. Whereas other movies are bad because of the story and the direction, but yet have a shining example of a wonderful performance. And so that is what we were talking about today. And joining me to talk about whether they're bad movies or just bad performances from Pop Culture Roulette, please welcome Nicholas Pepin. How are you, Nicholas?
Well, you know, when you like to talk bad movies, I like to come along and join, so...
I thought about that as I was saying my opening. I was like, you are the guy that I bring on, at least you think I bring you on only for the bad movies.
I tend to volunteer for a lot of it, so...
Yeah. You were the one that chose Vampirilla last.
Right,
so.
Absolutely. Which won't be on this list because it's just bad all around.
It's just bad, yeah. It's just bad. There's no good performance in that. All right, so again, we're going to talk through some movies. We'll go back and forth probably with some of these as to whether or not some of these movies are bad, or do they just have one or two performances that throw everything off, or on the flip side, are there great performances and what really are just bad movies? We'll be all over the place with this. But let's go again and get into it. And I told Nicholas that this is the one I will die on this hill, and that is talking about Superman Returns, because I think that for a movie that isn't that great, Brandon Routh is a terrific Clark Kent and Superman.
You will get no argument from me there. I don't hate Superman Returns. Now, granted, it's been about 20 years since I've seen it. Roundabout, yeah. I mean, I don't remember when it came out, but I feel like
it came out close to 20 years ago.
That's right, because I'm remembering it, the time frame I saw it.
Actually, I think it came out. I don't think it came out. I think it came out in 2006.
Oh, okay.
So it hasn't even been 20 years yet.
Right. So, all right, 19 years. I think maybe the plot gets a little silly and maybe recycles a little bit too much from the Christopher Reeve stuff, but I understand, like, it was supposed to be a sequel to the Christopher Reeve.
A sequel, yes.
But no, it would have been nice to see Brandon Routh maybe get another shot at it outside of the Berlantiverse.
The Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like, though, that the Arrowverse, the Berlantiverse, whatever you want to call it, I do like that that gave him kind of the chance to, I guess, close his chapter of being Superman.
Yeah.
By letting him be the quote-unquote Kingdom Come version of Superman.
Right.
I liked it. I will say it was kind of a little lackluster the way they just kind of ended him being Superman in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. But yeah, I mean, again, for the fact that they were trying to do a sequel to Christopher Reeve's Superman's, I think he was a great fill-in for Christopher Reeve. Like he personified the character as Christopher Reeve had created. Like he had that quiet dignity, that kindness for Clark Kent. A lot of his mannerisms very similar to that of Christopher Reeve. And I know some people will say, well, but that's all it was. He was just a Christopher Reeve ripoff. And I don't see it that way. Yeah, I see it as he was paying tribute to that character. You know, he wasn't trying to make it too different. It was a nice transition, I guess you would say, from Christopher Reeve into a more modern and new version of Superman.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, you could make the argument he's just doing an imitation, but imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
That'd be good.
like, I mean, it was an imitation, but it was also kind of his own take. I mean, it wasn't like a dead-on impersonation. I mean, because a lot of people didn't even pick up on the fact that it was supposed to be a sequel.
Yes, and it's supposed to be a sequel to. They were acting as if 3 and 4 never happened, like it was a sequel to 2.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was. I think the idea. I think it's been a minute since I've seen it too, to be honest. But I think the implication was after he fought off, Zod in 2, the idea was he then traveled into space to see if he could find any other Kryptonians. And then this was, of course, him returning. But then there's also the bit in Superman 2 where he does sleep with Lois. And, of course, that is what leads to the spoiler for an almost 20-year-old movie, to finding out that Lois's kid is actually his.
Right.
So that was the connection as well. But, yeah, I mean, when you got a movie where, Kate Bosworth is an okay Lois Lane, but Kevin Spacey, he's probably my second to least favorite Lex Luthor.
I'm going to bring that one up in a minute.
Okay. But he's probably my second to least favorite Lex Luthor. He just, I think, and I get that he also was probably playing more to the camp of the Christopher Reeve movies.
Yes.
But that movie wasn't made to be the camp of those Christopher Reeve movies.
Yeah, and I think that's where maybe you get the argument of good performance in a bad movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not like bad being like not like horrible, but like not good, like somewhere just over the middle, of okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because the plot was a mess, like it was a land deal. We'd already seen that before. Kevin Spacey didn't really seem to know what he was doing. And that's not to say that Kevin Spacey isn't a fantastic actor. I mean, he's
horrible person.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about the quality of some of these people on this list. But it didn't know what it wanted to be, and I think that's where you get into a lot of problems with a lot of the movies that that I have on my list, and maybe some of the ones you have on your list. Is that's when you don't like, if you're going to be a bad movie, but you're going to commit to being a bad movie. That's where Vampirella, it committed to being a bad movie. It knew it was a bad movie, so it didn't try to be anything other than a bad movie, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make it
good. Howard the Duck.
Yeah, Howard the Duck. I think at some point, you're just we're not going to win an Oscar. Let's just lean into the Razzie.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned your list. What's something you want to bring up on your list?
To stay in the Superman world, I will say Ben Affleck in any of the Snyderverse movies.
Yeah. As a good performance, bad movie.
Yes. Okay. I think historically, I think I've said it on this podcast before. I know I've said it on mine. I don't think that any of the Zack Snyder movies work. Now, I haven't seen the Zack Snyder Justice League. I've only seen the Joss Whedon Justice League.
Yeah.
I have never been able to commit myself to watching 3 hours of a movie I didn't like.
Yeah. I can respect that.
I watched Batman vs. Superman in the movie theaters, and I didn't dislike it. I bought the DVD or Blu-ray, whatever it was, because I didn't dislike it enough. But then I watched it a couple more times, and every time I watched it, it just fell apart even more. But
yeah.
I've always said that Ben Affleck was a great Batman.
I agree.
He just never got the script or the movie that would have made it work.
I agree. No, I've always said that I don't dislike Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought, especially for the Batman he was portraying,
right.
The older version of Batman. I love the suit. I've loved his suit in those movies. But
Jesse Eisenberg.
yeah. There's my least favorite Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I mean that's just bad actor or bad acting in a bad movie, and
Yeah, and then I do think that one fails with bad writing. I don't like the script for talking about Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not like the script. I do not like the way they wanted to wedge it being essentially. I get that the subtitle was Dawn of Justice, but just to force the two of them together and then force Wonder Woman into the story.
Well,
but yeah.
And I think, as much as the Snyder fans are going to come after me for this, I don't think Snyder really ever truly understood the essence of what these characters were. Yes, DC is a little more bleak and a little bit more whatever, but like leaning into the bleakness, leaning into the cynical nature, leaning into the just like trying to keep it grounded, you got away from who Superman was, even who Batman was. Because, at the end of the day, yes, Batman is a vigilante, but Batman still represents hope. Like, he still is out to do good. And, I think the Snyder tried to suck all that out. But that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, but I will agree that Ben Affleck is good. So another one I wanted to bring up that I kind of questioned this one a little bit. The movie is a mess. In fact, every movie she is in, as his character, is a mess. So it kind of plays off with your Ben Affleck. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark that off my list because I had that one.
Yeah.
I will say yes, because I specifically wrote down Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey. The Suicide Squad is
a little better.
And I can't really fault that movie because it's not great, but it's better. But the David Ayer Suicide Squad and whatever that mess the Birds of Prey was.
Yes.
But Margot Robbie was fantastic and
amazing.
And if they can find a way to keep her going as Harley Quinn in the James Gunn verse, then great. But I just don't see how you do that, quite honestly.
Yeah. Because I think that's my question is, does Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, do you think that she's I'm tongue-tied. Do you think that she shines because of them being so bad of movies? Or do you think let me put it this way. If she is brought into the James Gunn universe, does she still reach that level among better performers, better movie, better story?
I think that, quite honestly, Margot Robbie is just a fantastic actress. I mean, I think that her performance made Barbie a movie that I cared about. I thought she kept up with, if not outshined, Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street. I think her performance on Saturday Night Live was proof that she can do silly on top of being able to do so I don't know. I think she could. I think she might actually be too good for
okay.
But I mean, at the same time, I think she's proven herself more than capable of doing it. I just don't know if you can wrap her into the new Gunverse and make it make sense. You've already kind of stretched the limitations of making his universe make sense with Peacemaker.
Yeah.
When you're changing several, Aquaman.
But I mean, that's your end, though.
Right.
The fact that Peacemaker and Harley Quinn are from the same movie.
Yeah.
That is your end.
Right.
Is that if they're going to tie Peacemaker into the new James Gunn DC, you can very easily bring Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn in.
I mean, I wouldn't fight it, and James Gunn is smart enough to figure out how to make it work.
Oh yeah.
So why not? I mean, yeah, do it. I mean, if something that you can make work, go for it. But at the same time, I could easily see them having to change her out with somebody else just to make the story make sense.
Yeah, which brings me to another person I want to talk about since we're talking about this. What about Jared Leto as the Joker?
See, I wanted to write him down, but I just...
Because does his Joker work if it's a different movie? Or do you think his Joker is just a bad Joker?
I've been torn on that for a long time because I've always wanted them to release like I didn't want to be one of those release the Snyder Cut people, but like I kind of want to see them release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad because I wonder like was what we got of Jared Leto's Joker just a horrible hack job in editing, or was it really just that much of a mess?
Well, and you haven't seen the Snyder cut of Justice League, but you know he appears at the end of that.
I've heard that, but like I said, I haven't watched it, so.
And a lot of people with that one scene that he's in the end of Snyder went, this Joker probably could have worked. So, yeah, that kind of brings me to that question. Personally, I would say no. Like, I do not want Leto's Joker. I'm good with let's move on to another Joker. But part of me also wonders, like, are we spoiled by Ledger's Joker so much?
I mean, that's the
it's
argument.
Hard to he's put the bar so high that someone like Leto, who is trying to say, look, I'm playing Joker, but I'm not even going to try to compete with Ledger. I'm going to do something all my own. Is it that his performance and his take on Joker was bad, or is it that we just don't want to compare anybody to Ledger?
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then you've got somebody like Hugh Jackman who has set the bar so high because he's done a lot of really good X-Men movies, but he has, on my list here, X3, Wolverine, a couple of the
Wolverine.
Yeah, the Wolverine. Yeah, the Wolverine.
And X-Men Origins Wolverine, whichever Wolverine you were referring to.
But that was the X-Men Origins Wolverine. Couple of those, not Days of Future Past, but a couple of the ones after that. Like, I don't remember if he was in Apocalypse or not, but I try not to remember even watching that movie. But like, so he's one of those, like, he's done a lot of really good ones, but he's been really good in some bad movies. But he set the bar so high that whoever the next guy is got an impossible task.
Yeah,
because it's gonna happen, whether people want to admit it or not. I mean, when you're as old as Hugh Jackman is, and I know I'm saying that where I'm almost 50 myself, and I know he's a little older.
But he's pushing 60.
Yeah, but he's pushing 60. I am not in the great shape that he has, and I don't have the millions of dollars to hire personal trainers. But I know that I can feel my job hurting me every day. I can't imagine what it's doing to him.
Yeah.
So,
but do you think that Cavill could do it?
Maybe, but I honestly think we should do what you've often pushed for. Like you pushed for the new Superman of let's get somebody who's kind of a relative unknown, somebody who doesn't have baggage of like, well, he was this first, like, he
was Superman. Now Superman's playing Wolverine,
right? Yeah.
All right. Let's since we're kind of gearing this way, let's flip into bad performance, good movie. First on my list, Jamie Foxx as Electro. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. His performance super questionable. But the movie itself was okay. Yeah,
because Jamie Foxx, like we've said with some of these other, Jamie Foxx, not a bad actor, but the version of the character that he plays, especially before he transforms into Electro, where he's playing this almost like he went back to his In Living Color days and is playing a caricature of a nerd, and it's awkward. And then he gets the transformation, and it's just over the top, loud, weird, and it's almost like he's in a different movie than Andrew Garfield is in, and a different movie than this movie, especially with the Gwen Stacy death that occurs. I mean, it's his character arc feels more like he's in an old like 60s Spider-Man cartoon more than this modern drama of a superhero film that this is. But do you think that Jamie Foxx then redeemed it a little bit with the way he performed the character in No Way Home?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a little bit. But yeah, his performance was a little bit over the top and strange and kind of just uneven.
Yeah, I think though in No Way Home he brought it back in a little bit. I think it's a better performance, but do you think that his performance? So comparing his two performances, do you think that it proved that the problem was within the script of Amazing Spider-Man 2, or do you think it was in his performance?
I think it was with the script.
Okay.
I mean, I think the script is obviously going to lead him down a certain direction. So rather than having somebody go, hey, this is not the direction we wanted you to go in. We wanted you to head here.
So more on the director and the script. So not necessarily putting the blame all on Jamie Foxx. It's more putting it on the way that Electro was written and directed
right.
in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So, I mean, he made choices, and the director who should have been like, hey, let's bring that down, let's bring that up, let's move it over here, move it over there. Like, as a seasoned actor, as somebody who has done a lot of movies, a lot of really good movies, I do not remember if he had won his Oscar by that point or not.
Well, I'm sure he had, because this was 2014. I'm pretty sure Ray was early 2000s.
But so this is a man who clearly knows what he's doing. So like he's gonna make some choices, but I don't know. So I mean I can't put it solely on the writer or the director or on Jamie, but there's definitely a group effort for getting the weird that we got in Spider-Man 2.
Yes, because even the look, like the blue jellyfish look that he had to him, yeah, it was a little strange. What you got in terms of what you would say is a good movie, but with a bad performance?
Iron Man 2. I enjoy Iron Man 2 a lot, but Mickey Rourke's performance is just bonkers. It's weird.
Yeah. It's almost the same as what we just talked about with Jamie Foxx.
Yes, it's very like you have a man who, and you have no idea like because it's Mickey Rourke. It's entirely possible that he just showed up on set and he was like, "This is how I'm going to do the character," and they were like, "No, we want you to do this." He's like, "Nope, this is what I'm going to do," and he just did it anyway.
Yeah, but we know he can do really well. I mean, he's amazing in Sin City.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah. And of course, he also did he win the Oscar or was he just nominated? It was, I think, for 9.5 weeks.
Oh,
I think he won, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Remember.
But
may not. But again, phenomenal actor.
Yes.
But yeah, he came in and I think the only thing that kind of helped his performance is Sam Rockwell was that nice little medium in that movie. Like he was good, but he was just on the side of bonkers and crazy enough that he kind of worked as a bridge.
And somebody who can go over the line real fast is Sam Rockwell. So
absolutely, yeah, fantastic, another fantastic actor though. I got one for you though. Batman Begins, incredible movie, redefined Batman for a new generation. It brought it more grounded in its mythology, gave us an amazing cinematic reboot. And then there was Katie Holmes.
Okay.
I'm not going to necessarily say Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes is terrible, but you've got her against the performances of Christian Bale, Gary Oldman, Liam Neeson, Michael Caine. Like she feels flat in this movie. And I don't know how much of that, again, is Katie Holmes or if it's the writing, because obviously they replaced her with Maggie Gyllenhaal for the sequel. So, do you think that Katie Holmes was miscast, or was it, again, more of a writing issue?
I think it was more of a writing issue because on my list, oddly enough, I have Dark Knight with Maggie Gyllenhaal as the problem.
That's great.
I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is that I don't know how well Nolan knows how to write female characters. because you have the massive problem in Dark Knight Rises of Talia, and
Yeah, that death scene.
yeah,
Oh,
you
that death
know,
scene.
like I don't know if, and I mean I've seen a few other of Nolan's movies, and I haven't seen them all, but like I think he struggled with the female characters. I don't know. I know Katie Holmes chose not to come back, so I don't necessarily think it was her them going, "You suck, we are going to recast you." I think it was more of her just going, "I'm done."
Yeah,
Um,
true.
but
And I think she was also, that was when she was going through all the stuff with the divorce
right,
with Tom Cruise, and
yeah.
so I
So
think there's some of that as well.
so yeah, I never really had a problem with Katie Holmes' performance. I never really had that much of a problem with Maggie Gyllenhaal's performance. I just think I liked the Katie Holmes version better, but like I understand, like things need to be changed, and I just it was such a drastic difference between Katie Holmes and Maggie Gyllenhaal that
Absolutely.
I kind of was like,
Yeah. All right. Well, who you got for another bad performance in an otherwise good movie?
um,
Because I know you did tell me before we recorded that that was the one you had the most problem with, right?
well, there was this one that I wrote mixed next to because it depends on what your feelings of Spider-Man 3 is.
Okay.
Um, I don't think it's a good movie, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad movie.
No, I think it fell with they tried to do too much in that movie.
But Topher Grace is definitely a bad performance in what could have been a good movie.
Is yeah, but is it, because this goes into what we've talked about with some of these others? Is it that it's a bad performance by Topher Grace, or is it that they did not understand that character? They clearly, because the story is that they forced
Yes.
Venom to be in this movie.
Yeah, Raimi wanted nothing to do with the symbiotes at all.
Yeah, and so it feels wedged into the movie, and then they clearly did not understand the character at all. So yeah, how much of that can you actually put on Topher Grace? I think is the issue, because he's not playing the character the way it's supposed to be played, and the look he has when he is Venom. Because I don't know, is he in the suit when we actually see Venom? Because when it peels back and we see him with the horrible grill he has in, that there's clearly some CGI going there. So I don't even know how much of that is actually him in the suit. So are we really just faulting him for being Eddie Brock, or are we faulting him for being Venom? Like, I think that's what
it's without knowing who was doing what and how much was a stuntman and how much was him. But like when you saw his face, like, I mean, I love that '70s show. I've enjoyed his performance in other movies. I can't think of what else he's been in. But I mean, because he hasn't done a lot of movies.
Yeah, it's that In Good Company with Scarlett Johansson and
okay.
I forgot the other person. Anywho, yeah.
But like I feel like he's a fairly decent actor. He does. I mean, he did really good on that '70s show. But I feel like maybe he was kind of miscast from the get go.
Yeah.
And maybe
a little bit, because you see him too much as a comedic actor.
Yeah.
To then play
right
a role like this.
Yeah,
I can see that.
There's that, but like he's also like, I mean, obviously typecasting is a problem for a lot of these actors, but like you just see him as Eric, like the kid Eric, whatever his name was on that '70s show.
Foreman.
Well, Eric Foreman. There you go. Jeez. He's just the nerdy little neighbor kid with the crush on the redhead next door. And all of a sudden, like, I'm supposed to buy that he's like this anti-hero / villain who's out to kill Spider. It was a little bit of a hard sell.
Yeah, and creating that jealousy that he's a competing photographer with Peter. Yeah, it just felt off. But with talking about Venom, this is interesting. Let's talk about Venom. Tom Hardy playing the character, because I might be one who actually defends Venom, because I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it might be weird. It's a weird movie. It tonally doesn't know what it wants to be, but I think that it works because, though, of Tom Hardy's performance.
Yes, I have on my list. Tom Hardy is good. Venom movies as bad.
I say Venom movies are okay.
I mean, I've seen both of them.
Well, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, I have not brought myself to watch the third one yet, because I couldn't stand the first. Like, the first one I went and saw in the theaters.
Yeah.
And like, it made me feel old. It made me feel like an old person, because like the big complaint about the Transformer movies was like, people were like, well, you couldn't even tell who was fighting who, and oh, you couldn't tell what. And I was like, no, you clearly can. And then I walked out of the Venom movie going, the fight scenes were just too dark. I couldn't tell who was fighting who and what symbiote was doing what. And I was like, oh man, I'm old now. I'm making the same arguments that I was getting mad at with the old people about Transformers. But the movie was a mess, but Tom Hardy was so good.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Hardy, his performance alone got the sequel greenlit.
Yes. Because again, his mumbling, his twitching, his talking to himself, I mean, it is so bonkers and seems nonsense, but if you look at it from an actual acting and performance standpoint, it is genius.
Yes.
And I think that it is because of that and the way Tom Hardy is delivering that role as Eddie Brock, it makes I will not say any of the Venom movies are bad. They're okay. I'm not going to say they're great, but bottom line is they're fun.
Right. And he's so good, I think Marvel is trying to find a way to bring Tom Hardy into the MCU. The same way they brought in Hugh Jackman and a lot of the other X-Men characters. Like, they're going to ignore those movies, but they're going to try to bring him in.
Which I have no problem with. I mean, I'd really would love to see his version of Venom, even if they bring him in originally as a villain and have him go up against Tom Holland Spider-Man. I'd have no problem with that, and then transition him into the anti-hero.
Right.
Or I hate to say this, but even if they only bring him in for one movie and then they pass on the Venom to Flash, or and do the Agent Venom or something else, maybe, I don't know. But you got anybody else or anybody you want to hit on real quick?
I got one more on my list, and I don't know what else you have on your list, but I have Nick Cage.
That is literally the next thing on my list.
And Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, because Spirit of Vengeance is a god awful movie. It's a horrible movie. But Nick Cage is one of the most dynamic actors of all time, because he will take just a garbage script and just make choices
that make
the movie sublime. Like, it's worth watching a Nick Cage movie just to see what he does.
So because I just put it as quick mention, Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider, and I just said Ghost Rider, but it is Spirit of Vengeance more so. You can't call it good, but you can't look away.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. That is 100% what it is. Yeah, I also have on my list, just because I've said this numerous times, and I will defend this till the day I die. We talked about how Ben Affleck wasn't a bad Batman. I don't think he's a bad Daredevil either.
Right.
So I just wrote down Ben Affleck as Daredevil, not his fault, just bad direction and editing. Because as you and I have talked about, the director's cut is so much better of a movie.
Right.
So I'm not going to fault Ben Affleck for that one either. So I did have a question for you though. What are your thoughts about Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern?
That movie is such a hot mess that it's hard for me to say if Ryan Reynolds was good in it or not. I mean, he's good in pretty much everything, but he's Ryan Reynolds. Like, he's just who he is. I watched that movie at the drive-in when it was in initial release, and I remember going, "Why did this happen?" Like, and I have not been able to bring myself to watch it a second time.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple, but
I don't know. I mean, if they gave him another crack at it, I wouldn't be mad because he is so entertaining.
But now he's Deadpool, so we don't want him as anything else.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he could. I don't know if they would let him double dip in both companies, but
No.
I don't know. I mean, the Green Lantern movie was such a mess, and I don't know whose fault it is. It wasn't necessarily Ryan Reynolds' fault, but it was. Yeah, it just was a mess. Like, it wasn't good, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see Kyle Chandler's take on Hal Jordan for the new Lantern series. But yeah, again, these were my little quick mentions, and so I wrote Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. This is a case of a good actor in the giving a wrong performance in a bad movie.
Okay.
Another one that I wanted to mention was talking about a bad movie, and is it a bad performance, or did she know what she was doing? Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy in Batman and Robin.
I don't think she knew what she was in for. My guess is that that was back in the era where they were like, don't read any of the source material. Don't read anything. Because clearly nobody in that movie knew what they were doing. I mean, because that movie is just that might be bottom 5 comic book movies of all time.
We'll have to go back and listen to when we actually picked the worst comic movie and see if that was in fact in our bottom 5.
I don't think it was because you guys overruled me, but it's in the bottom 5 of my worst comic book movies.
All right, and then I just wanted to bring this up. I got 2 actors here. Martin Freeman as Everett Ross in Black Panther.
Okay.
And Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Are their performances bad or just their American accents?
I wouldn't say that Martin Freeman's performance was bad. His American accent was a little sketchy. I'm not sure Benedict Cumberbatch was trying to do an American accent. I feel like they were like, he's Benedict Cumberbatch. What are we going to do? Tell him no? Like,
yeah, it's just he's not a good American accent though.
No. But
there's something just off about it.
He's just such a good actor, though. I mean, it's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like Nick Cage in Willy's Wonderland. Like, he showed up and we're like, all right.
Oh,
he was like, I don't want to have any lines. Take all the lines out of the movie. And what are you going to do? Tell him no? He's Nick Cage.
So I have only seen that movie once, but I will go ahead and tell you. You just talked about Batman and Robin being in your bottom 5. Willy's Wonderland has to be in my top 5 Nicolas Cage movies.
Absolutely.
That movie is amazing.
Absolutely, it is.
I know they've got, as the when we're recording this, they're starting to promote the Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2. But I saw Five Nights at Freddy Part 1. Willy's Wonderland's a better version of that movie. Willy's Wonderland is amazing.
Yeah, I love Willy's Wonderland. It's really good. Not that it's a comic book movie in any way, but
no. It is amazing, though. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you. I mean, what makes a performance bad isn't always about the acting. Sometimes it's the tone, it's the script, it's the editing. An actor can give a great performance in the wrong movie, but sometimes a weird performance can save a movie, as we've talked about with some of these. But that's what I love about comic book movies. So even when Nicholas talks about some of the bad movies, sometimes I still even enjoy them because of some of the performances, whether the performances are good or just so over the top that it makes the movie fun. But thank you, Nicholas, for joining me on that. Any last words from your end?
No, just and sometimes bad is good.
Absolutely. And then sometimes bad is bad. like, yeah, see, I don't know. Is Vampirilla bad, or is that it's still fun?
It's
like,
bad but fun. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's that great Saturday afternoon like sci-fi, you know, cheeseball movie.
yeah. But then you've got like just recently, Jerry D and I talked about that Generation X movie.
That's
90s.
another level of bad.
That's a bad. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Rate and review the show. Also, check out Pop Culture Roulette with Nicholas wherever you listen to any of your podcasts. But we'll wrap things up for today. For Moving Panels, I'm Laramy Wells, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.